Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. Another paid request, this time for Broad Stipe. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. Now, he wanted me to talk about Panic Button from 2011, which I never heard of this film before. I can see why after watching it. It's pretty much trying to be Saw, but also dealing with social media. I would say like Unfriended, but not in that style. But more about the dangers of not being nice to someone on social media. Whatever. But it's trying to be a bit like Saw. You even have, instead of the puppet in Saw, it's a goddamn CG alligator. Yes, I'm serious. So you have these four people who are strangers. They have supposedly won this thing, this prize from this app called All Together, where you put profiles up to try to find dates, things of that nature. And there's this new online gaming thing, and you guys have won a trip to New York. And the four people, I know one guy's called Max, one guy's called Dave. I forget who the two ladies are called. There's four of them. And the acting, I mean, I've seen much worse acting. I really have. So that didn't bother me as much as maybe other people did. Although I didn't really care. I didn't really give a shit about these people. I didn't really care about their predicament. I didn't care about whether they lived or died. Dave is the masculine, overweight, well, a little bit overweight douchebag. Max is kind of the guy you can't get a handle on. And then you have the two ladies. One seems like the tease, and one seems like our lead character, which there's things fucked up about her too. Anyway, they're going to New York, and on the computers on the plane, there's like an alligator, and his mouth will open like this when the person talks. It's like barely a screensaver. So when I say CG, I mean more like, here's the face. Hello, how are you doing today? Honestly, he looked like Gex. Remember those video games, Gex? He looked like that. Or the fucking gecko from Geico commercials. So, that or a gator, how you want to fucking fit it. So it starts off, they're being asked these questions. He's supposed to tell the truth, and they're questions that are very embarrassing. How many girls have you scored with? Do you have any piercings? Blah, blah, blah. Of course, a lot of them lie about it and say, well, that's not true. You've actually scored with 0. Actually, you slept with this girl Amy, and then you blocked her later. Actually, you have a piercing on your scrotum. Actually, lady, you're a virgin. I'm like, this is a big revelation that you don't want to admit. It's a beautiful looking lady, and it's like, okay, yeah, I haven't slept with anybody. So what? Like, they made such a big deal out of that when it's not really anything to be made a big deal of. She's a beautiful looking lady. She hasn't done anything yet. Whoop-de-fucking-do, but whatever. So, of course, things get more personal, and they're tired of it, and they want out. But if they forfeit, then a computer screen opens up, and whoever forfeits, as in refuses, one of their friends is murdered. Oh wait, this is fate, this must be a reality show, and no, it's a psycho in the vein of Jigsaw, willing to kill people one by one, unless they play the game. We like to play a game. So, like any number of Saw rip-offs, knockoffs, however you want to put it. If you forfeit, you lose a friend or a family member. So they see one or two people die. They start realizing they're in deep shit. They're actually not going to New York because they're passing over water that is not recognizable. one of them, Max, finds there's something going on, able to rip something out of the wall and able to link up to it where They're actually going to like Norway or something like that. I forget where. Then all of a sudden, they're given assignments. They're put into the bathroom one by one, headphones, here's a loved one, a daughter, or a wife, girlfriend, friend, brother, whatever the case. If you don't do this assignment, they'll die. It's just like the characters, okay, the one lead lady, she's been in rehab for a drinking problem. And at one point she threw this awful video of someone dying. Oh my god, that's so nasty. Oh, I was drunk. That's your excuse all the time, isn't it? There's the girl who, again, didn't sleep with anybody, and she's labeled a hypocrite. At one point she mocked someone in a group, but then later on she became a counselor. So she's a hypocrite. The Dave is an asshole. Max, spoiler alert, because I'm going to spoil it, fuck it. You find out Max isn't even Max. This Max is a different guy who hacked into the real Max. So he literally is an innocent guy, just had the wrong profile at the wrong time on the wrong day. So he's not even the Max this fucking guy wannabe Jigsaw wants. So go figure. They're giving each an assignment, and there's a lot of crime going around, a lot more crime going around, and then ultimately shit hits the more of the fan, and the movie goes on from there. It maybe depends how big you are into the Saw stuff. Like, even the Saw franchise itself, I could maybe watch the first two, and that's as far as I got. The stuff with the online and bullying, I like that a lot more in Unfriended. The first one. Not only because it's supernatural, you can buy into the, well, that doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense. Oh, just chalk it up to supernatural. Okay, as dumb as that sounds, it makes me easier to buy into it than this guy somehow has all this power, all this money to be able to fake being this all-together group, to get all these people onto a plane, to influence this pilot, to have all these people with all these other friends, family members across wherever city, state they live in, or wherever the hell they're living in. Because I think it's a British production. Wherever they're living in. It's like, so this guy has the money, has the power, has all the ability to do all this. Okay. It's a pretty big pill to swallow, but if you want to swallow it, be my guest. Then your message is diluted because some of the people you're punishing are innocent. Because it gets into the jump ahead. The reason this guy's doing this is because the guy had a daughter who was killing herself and was filming it, and no one was helping. And these four people, one judged her but then was a hypocrite, one messaged and watched and didn't do, or watched didn't do anything because she was drunk, which is your excuse all the time. One mocked her, and even his buddy mocked her, who was one of the people on the video killed as the forfeit punishment. But some of these other people are innocent. Like this one girl who's with Dave. And by the way, if the people die, those people still die as well. And they get the idea that some of them have already been killed after the fact. That some of them, these are recordings, not live. But some are, but some isn't. Depending on just flipping a fucking coin. That one was recorded long ago. That one wasn't, whatever. I just didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit about the plot. I didn't give a shit about the story. I didn't give a shit about the characters. Again, the message of the person about cyberbullying, how you want to put it, okay, what happened to his daughter, is diluted because, okay, if he's strictly going after the people who was horrible when her daughter needed someone the most, which of course the question is, where were you when she needed you the most? You should be punishing yourself. Someone should have really knocked that back into the guy. Where were you? Where were you at? But anyway, if she needed that much help to be able to end her life that way, where the fuck were you? Or you could chalk it up to, well, the guy's psycho, and psychos are not really the most morally upright, but that's why they're psychos in the first place. It's like, oh my god, they murdered someone, but they can't lie to people. I mean, they'll kill someone, but they can't be liars. It's kind of that weird thing. It's like, no, they're psychos. So why am I thinking of any kind of moral logic into this? But at least that would make it more interesting to the viewer of, no, they don't deserve to die, but at the same time, they shouldn't have been awful, this person. But I'm like, Dave's loved one who's tied up, and then when Dave dies, she gets, I said spoilers, she gets stabbed to death. What did she do to deserve all this? She didn't do anything to deserve all this. Max, I mean, he's not even the right Max. He's the wrong guy. He's not really involved with this. He had nothing involved with your daughter, but you still kill him off anyway. The person related to the lady counselor who was the hypocrite, what was her? I think her sister. What does she have to do with anything? It didn't seem like she had anything to do with anything. So you have some of these like people who are innocent involved with this. You kill innocent people. And then the guy tries to argue with it, but no, you did kill some innocent people. But then they kind of overlook that and just move along. Don't worry about that. Guy's a psycho. And then it taking place on a plane, so there's not much of an environment to really showcase in terms of cool gore traps like the Saw films. There's not really much gore in itself anyway, if you're going in for that. They see a couple video and maybe one person gets shot in the head. Doesn't look too bad. In the story, you find out that the assignment is pretty much they have to do something to another. One has to kill the other, or the girl has to seduce someone, so on and so forth. Unlike the seduction angle, it doesn't really seem that bad of a deal. Unless then you have to kill them as well. So Dave tries to kill Max, or the fake Max, but Max has to retaliate and put like this axe they find into the guy's neck. The hypocrite girl tries to kill both of them. Hey, if I don't do it, my sister's going to die, but she gets her neck broken. The fake Max and the lead girl find out that within the plane there's some of the dead bodies they saw on the video, so they were killed already. Then you found the lead girl, her assignment was to poison the not Max, which she did, and the guy dies of poisoning. There's the pilot in confrontation with him, and the pilot's like, I have to do this, otherwise my family will die. Then cut to the lead girl, her and the fucking Gecko commercial are talking and blah blah blah. Nothing of importance, because again, the message of this is what you did to treat people, I'm like, that message is diluted because you're killing innocent people. So you're way worse. Because you just say, okay, Dave's friend who you shot in the head was a piece of shit too online. But, and even she mentions, well, you didn't even get the real Max, you killed him. No, actually, you killed him. You're the one who poisoned him. And I'll get that real Max someday. Okay, but what about the girl who was Dave's, I don't know, loved one, whoever she was? What about the one girl's sister? What did they have to do with it? Didn't seem like much, so you're still killing innocent people. So any moral, what's the moral compass you want to showcase is diluted because of that. Now, I thought that was done a little bit better in Unfriended. The issue I have with Unfriended is it's kind of hard to feel bad for the ghost when you find out that she was a pretty shitty bully as well. So it's bullies picking on a bully. I think that would have been stronger if it really was an innocent person getting their payback onto these four bullies. But with that, I still thought the rest of it worked a lot better. Plus the way it was filmed and the way it was done just made it much more of an interesting affair compared to this, which once again is supposed to be a morals quandary about social media. And the ending is just, the plane is crashing. I guess she's like, fuck it, and opens up the door, gets jettisoned out of the plane, and the plane's crashed. Then you hear news programs, and it cuts to the bad guy. They have the lead girl's daughter, and they're going to make her the daughter that they lost. Hey, we're here to pick you up, and you don't live with us now, and as you don't change your name, and we don't put these clothes on you, and we don't call you, I think, Lucy, and so I guess is their plan. Also, they got a new daughter from this. I'm like, the whole thing just like, it's a bummer ending. It almost seems like an anticlimactic ending. Kind of like a what the fuck ending, and how do you get all this power, all this stuff that, whatever. You think any investigator with a bit of know-how could solve this, or at least get a handle on this, but apparently not. And I don't even know why the fuck it's called Panic Button. Like, why is it called Panic Button? I don't even know why it's called Panic Button. I thought that was a very strange title for this kind of movie. So then you have 4 people you find out really aren't that great of people, or at least 3 of them. One was a hacker that got himself up shit creek and hacked to the wrong profile to steal someone's trip. So they're not all like, they don't deserve to die, but they're not all great people. Well, except Dave. You find out he might be a pervert that likes him young, so him I'm fine with dying. The other 3, I mean, but at the same time, I just didn't care. And in the background, the plane is a very small plane too. It's not much to look at background-wise. I didn't really feel much of tension. The story, again, it felt like a muddled mix of Saw and Unfriended, some other pieces of film you all have seen. It's not going to get the bloodlust if people are looking for that. The game is I did either answering questions or go to a bathroom, do one assignment, and it takes forever for them to do it because there's a lot of crying and no, we can't be doing this, and Max, or the Fate Max, being the only one thinking, well, they're not going to let us leave. You think they're still going to let us leave? You think they're going to let our loved ones go? In fact, don't even kill that guy. That guy's not even my brother. I'm not even the real Max. What are you doing, man? Seemed like if they all listened to Max, they might have, or the Fate Max, they would have made it out, but they didn't. And it ends with everybody dying and the bad guys adopting the lead girl's daughter. Okay. Sure. Whatever. So no, I wasn't a fan of this film. I thought the film sucked. It wasn't for me. I got really nothing out of it. And I don't know what else to say. So thanks for watching. I thought it sucked. That was very boring. Unlikable characters. Lackluster conclusion. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.